Hello to the probably nobody there yet. Just gonna garnish my drink, because that's a thing I like to do. Nice bit of orange oil from my orange peel. Ooh, okay. Is that a good omen? I speared a cherry on my first attempt. When the numbers in the jar are reduced that much, it normally takes quite a few goes. So maybe getting one straight away is a good sign. And hello, Megaleech. How are you doing? Try my new clarified cocktail that I haven't had a taste of yet. Yum. It's yum. It's very yummy. Very yummy. All right. Oops. Cherry came off its stick. I think my hands are sticky from the cherry jar, actually. Playing the Survivalists. New game. Okay. Hang on a sec. Just going to wash my hands. Just done the dishes earlier. Doesn't matter. I'll do them in the morning. Wait, do I even air it? New drinkies to try tonight. Hey, Greg, and hello, Dr. Abigail. What's that one about? We asked about the Survivalists. What's the Survivalists? Is it about surviving? Well, it looks really bright out there today, doesn't it? Sun's actually out. It has actually been overcast a lot of the time. Just noticing how very bright it looks out there. Isn't this world we live on strange? You know, in the middle of winter, it's like really dark at 6 p.m. And this time of light, it's really bright, broad daylight, 8 o'clock. That sounds dodgy. Stranded on an island, get monkey slaves. I think a white person wrote that. That's all I'm going to say. You know what I have to think of? Is it though, Dr. Abigail? Is that physics? Is that how physics works? Okay. I stand corrected. I wonder if there's a signature serve for this new Archie Rose drink I got. Yes. Shop limited releases. Molasses rum, bone dry gin. There it is, Honey Barrel, which I got. There's no signature serve listed on the site. What's this? Oh, Vera's getting shirty on the TV in the next room. So this barrel-aged distilled honey spirit. Ooh, it's 50% ABV. I didn't know it was that strong. Got to be careful with this one. Honey spirit cocktail. Just doing a random search. Honey cocktails that are worth the buzz from liquor.com. Though I imagine these have actual honey in them. Tequila honeybee. Yes, a honey syrup with tequila. A fallen leaf, honey and ginger. Actually, maybe that would go like with brandy and a hot toddy. Those honey flavors in a warm drink. Eau de lavender. Honey kumquat caipirinha. Modeling lime and kumquat. Bear with me, honey. Ha ha! Honey-kissed cosmopolitan. An Abbey toddy. Benedictine. Bourbon lemon juice. Things to explore, I guess. Actually, I just thought of one other thing I could do a ingredient search on the Difford site. Cocktail finder by base spirit. Okay. See if they have a honey base spirit. Indeed. God, so many weird gins on here. Okay. Honey. Here we go. Honey eau de vie. It's probably the closest. Search. No results. Well, fuck you. Why the fuck is that even listed if it doesn't appear? Honestly, what's this about? Of course it's not strange, Dr. Abigail. It's just that, the giant turtle upon which our Discworld sits changes the degree to which it faces the sun at different times of the year. It's perfectly straightforward. I mean, if you want to get technical about it. Yes, but then again, people are strange when you're a stranger. Yes. We sit on the back of, it's 4 elephants who's standing on the great turtle, Atuan. And it's just, the angle the turtle is to the sun, really. So, I've got the science down pat. Besides which, strange things having explanations doesn't mean they're not strange in and of themselves. See, you need to pee. That's strange. Who designed us that way? No, Greg, there's only one turtle. There's 4 elephants sitting on one turtle. One very large turtle. Oh. Yes. Strange doesn't mean inexplicable. It's just, to me, it's interesting. And I find it interesting, many of the things we experience in this world. And I also find it interesting the effort people have put into understanding it over the years. Often getting it wrong, but the accuracy with which people measured the movement of, it's not the movement of the sun, it's the apparent movement of sun and stars according to our perspective. Yes, how did the turtle become a turtle and the egg question? I know there was a reference in one of the Discworld books that one of the big questions of philosophy on the Discworld is the great turtle male or female? And that's an important question because the great turtle is swimming through the stars seeking a mate. And so the mating that would happen with a male and female would have very different consequences for the Discworld, depending if the great turtle was male or female, if you get what I mean. Yeah, mainly if a male jumped on their turtle and started fucking, it would crush the world. Mind you, I also think if there was a male turtle that jumped on a female turtle that was floating through space and humped it, that would cause earthquakes at least. See, no, that the belief on the Discworld is that the great turtle is sort of swimming through the cosmos looking for its mate. So it is believed on the Discworld the great turtle is not unique. But they're in no rush for the great turtle to find another turtle because that could mean all sorts of chaos and destruction. Well, I think because this is sitting here, I'm going to try this first. Now, if they got one of those easy dotted line seams on here, so they do. I see it. Can I get my nail under it and make it start opening? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'll use this freaking thing. Get a dog up, yeah. God damn it. This thing shit me. Ugh. Right. Come on. Shrink the plastic. Come off. All right. Done. What does that smell like? Honey? That smells like whiskey, actually. I suppose if it's eau de vie, its base is like unaged whiskey. Yes, Nettie, new booze. Honey barrel. Barrel-aged distilled honey from Archie Rose. Arrived today. Gonna get shot glass. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Having a taste. Okay. Really does smell like whiskey, actually. Very honey-ish whiskey. Weirdly, maybe even a banana sort of aroma on it. Ooh. Whew. Well, oof, that's pretty warm going on. Well, Dr. Abigail, I feel that you are sounding like Scott Morrison there, quite honestly, uh, rejecting my premise because you're being uh, very subjective and pretty much stating that your perception is the only one that exists. And I think strange is wonderful, actually. And I don't think you should be scared of strange. Ooh, great, nice. Wife came back from Hong Kong with homemade plum wine. Smells like dirty homebrew. Sounds dodgy. I like it. Um, yeah, I think I just regard strange as unusual. I mean, it's strange. I mean, flowers replicating mathematical formula in the pattern of their petals is strange and wonderful and beautiful to me. So yeah. Oh yes, I saw Nettie. You and the Offspring did a quick Sydney and back dash. Hope that wasn't too stressful. Gotta put a bit of ice in this. See if it makes it taste different. All right. Stir that a little bit. Do. Man, this was really reminiscent of whiskey. It's like moonshine. Well, it becomes apparent we have different definitions of strange. Also, strange doesn't mean unknown. It feels like your argument is based around strange meaning unknown. And to me, again, my subjective interpretation of the word, strange does not, by definition, mean unknown. Again, as well, not necessarily, I was going to say, as we all know, we don't necessarily all know this. For those who don't know, it is not uncommon for words in the English language to have multiple meanings. When you look them up in a dictionary, a work of scholarly research, and sometimes those meanings can be very different. In fact, you get some words that are known as contronyms, in that the word is the opposite of itself in some definitions, and which is truly fucking weird, but that's how language works. And I'm not sure by what permutations a word means one thing and then through whatever process comes to mean the opposite while still meaning its original meaning as well. The first one I ever heard is the one I remember. Is the word slightly obscure. The word cleave means both to split apart and to hold together. Most people know the meaning cleave, like to cleave in two, to cut in two. You have a meat cleaver, a thing that cleaves meat. But there's another, admittedly archaic usage of it, whereas I remember it from Catholic school, from hymns, and it's um, it's cleave unto me. It's like hold close to me. Um, Now that's strange. That's not unknown, but it's very strange that we have words that mean the opposite of themselves. I'm going to look it up because there are some more obvious ones. Okay. This is another slightly obscure one. An apology is both saying sorry and defending yourself. We don't use it. There's famously the apology of Plato. Dust means both to dust something, to add fine particles, or you dust a shelf, you remove fine particles. That's a fun one. Hey, Svan, how's it going? Getting down into some intricacies of language, which is a fun and imprecise thing. It's really funny having worked with programmers for 20 some years. Programmers have a tendency to fucking hate the written and spoken word because of its imprecision, ambiguity, and double meaning. And when they are trying to write a program, they would prefer it only did one thing and meant one thing. So yes, Dr. Abigail, that's a personal opinion. Explaining something doesn't stop it being strange, in my opinion. And this is a subjective experience of the word. And as I said, words regularly have more than one meaning. So, yeah. Ooh, is one. Workplace politics is not fun. It absolutely is not. I hate workplace politics. And cow hugging vegan doing the dusting of obscurities. I found Young was Angry had a little compressed air thing for cleaning out a computer and such like, because she often builds her own tech. I used it on knickknacks I had on the shelf that have a lot of little intricacies in them that you can't really dust very easily. So I just cleaned them with compressed air. It was actually really satisfying, just seeing the dust go whoosh, like because use a duster or something and it's particularly ineffective, but actually blasting them with a bit of compressed air was actually quite therapeutic to me, at least. So. So, I think to enjoy this, probably want to make a whiskey-ish cocktail. Dr. Abgal, short answer to your question, no. That is not how language works. It is particularly not how the English language works. I understand your frustration. I share it to a degree. But one can rail against the opinions and ambiguities of language. It will get you nowhere because sadly, language is about humans, and humans are weird and ambiguous. So, what at attrition rate does that mean? Like annual turnover of 70%? Because that's not supportable. Greg, talking about dust, trying to degrade bottles to give them a frozen look. Wow. That sounds like a fun project. Surfboard wax, glycerin, water, and salt. Where's in society? Where's in a friend group? Again, Dr. Agrawal, I will once more say no, because that is not how language works. given that the way I express myself is different to the way you express yourself, that isn't going to work. And as I said, it simply isn't the way language works. It's not the way culture works. It's not the way people work. As much as we could make a case for it would be good if people were consistent and predictable and not subjective and opinionated and whatnot. That's people, basically. And I don't know that we have any way around it. See, Dr. Abigail, that is wishful thinking on your part, because even just, high school debating, your classic form of debating, yes, the first speaker usually defines terms, but first speakers from opposing teams can disagree on terms as well and make their argument based on interpretation. And it's down to the judges to agree who has made the better case. Again, Dr. Abigail, I would argue you are being incredibly selective in your statement that that's how well-structured scientific literature works. That's a no true Scotsman statement, quite honestly. Because again, I feel I would have no trouble whatsoever finding different published and peer-reviewed scientific papers that use the same words to mean very different things. They describe things in very different ways because that is how people are. And to say the only good literature is structured and consistent it's a no true Scotsman fallacy. It simply isn't true on top of everything else. I do understand your frustration. I can empathize. God, talk to people who come from non-English speaking countries and then try to learn English. Broadly, they say it fucking sucks because just of the myriad of inconsistencies without even getting into idiom. And virtually the argument we were having over the word strange is closer to arguing over idiom than dictionary definitions. Although again, in my defense, as I said, dictionary will provide multiple definitions for many, many words, many of which are not related to each other, and some of which directly contradict each other. So your wish to have this consistent paired off meaning is struggling against the awful variances of reality, essentially. One can attempt to come to a common understanding, but simply in the case of how I was using the word strange in an expressive way, which you had a problem with, that comes across as you trying to dictate how I'm allowed to speak, which is not a dictate that I usually go along with from anyone. So it struck us. Okay, and again, you are using words that I didn't use. I did not say, in my opinion, it's important to nail down definitions. I was saying, as a statement of fact, in the English language, many, many, many words have multiple meanings, and their meaning changes in context as well. And just colloquial conversation can throw rules out the window as well. You're making an argument for something that doesn't and effectively can't exist. So it's not as if, it's not as if I said, the cover of this book is red. that would just be obnoxious. But it's like you're. Well, again, okay, Dr. Abigail, you say it should just be in conversation here. Then I demand that you go along with my definition of strange. Okay? Do you see what's happening? We were using a word differently, and you're insisting, nay, demanding that I use it your way. Well, I demand you use it my way, in that anything vaguely interesting or quirky is strange. Anything that prompts an observation of strange, So it's that straightforward. Anyway, I'm getting my other bottle I wanted to taste because I haven't tasted since I bought it from a local bottle shop that has all sorts of wild and wonderful and wacky things in it. Does this have one of those dotted line things that theoretically makes it easier to open the plastic shrink wrap? Not that I can fucking see. Okay. Okay, Dr. Abigail, here I would say in pure and simple terms, you're categorically wrong, but because that's not what strange means. We're on the internet. Let's go to a dictionary and just say define strange. Try and find, because it's probably going to be, okay, let's go Merriam-Webster. Dictionary.com is a bit dodgy. Cambridge Dictionary and Britannica Dictionary and the Collins English Dictionary. Okay. Merriam-Webster. Different from what is usual, ordinary or expected. Not known before, which fits in with yours, unfamiliar. Interestingly, also not entirely comfortable or well, as in I feel a bit strange. Or unaccustomed. Unusual. Extraordinary. See, the primary definition is in line with what you're saying. I'm kind of holding myself back here, to be completely honest. People are strange when you're a stranger. I mean, to come back with the fact I was fucking being lighthearted. Now, this I got on impulse. This is a local bottle shop that has very interesting stuff. I was looking for something else which they didn't have, but I got something. This is a local-ish distillery. Morty Alec. They're not very far away at all. I got something from them at... oh, yeah, Zvan. There's a plastic seal on it. There's a pointy bit on the end of the potato peeler that I could break the plastic. Yes, I got something from them at a booze festival I went to called Holy Water, but they didn't have this. This is a limited release cherry and cacao husk brandy. And I just thought that just sounds fucking awesome. That sounds absolutely awesome. And so, purely on spec, I have no idea what this is like. I decided to get some. Thought it sounded like a very Christmassy drink. Again, yes, Dr. Abigail, this is strange to the point of being unique. I've never seen this before. So this will sit easily with your definition. I mean, we can explain it, but it's new and different and unusual to me. Hi, Safa. And I might find the taste strange as well. I love that first Pops one. It's a thing of beauty, and the glug 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 from a new bottle as well. Yep, that kind of smells like brandy, and yeah, I feel like I could smell the cacao as well. It's very sweet. It smells very sweet. Mm. Oh yeah, that's a bit cherry-ish. That's very interesting. Ooh, a little bit warm going. I think I'm going to have this with eggnog, because we only get 30 sweet noggy days before the government court takes it away from us. Mm. Ooh, that's interesting. The ultimate revenge from Dr. Abigail to finish to finish me off. You can't make this stuff up. But now, of course, all night I'm going to have the Doors People Are Strange stuck in my head, which is not the worst thing in the world, quite honestly, to have stuck in your head. A machete! That's a terrible thing to have stuck in your head. I think I said that because I was bored before coming on, and I just played a bit of Murder Hobo, Red Dead Redemption. And I was just going through the town I didn't like with a pirate sword and just fucking hacking people. And that made other people angry, and they started shooting at me. So then I was just building up a massive body count and all the people I was killing. All right. What's this like when it's being chilled? Again, completely fair statements on both levels, Dr. Abigail. I've got a lot of head to have things stuck in. It is a bit strange, my head. It is bizarrely oversized. Oh, Zvan, Murder Hobo is a Dungeons and Dragons term. I don't know who invented it, but it's like when the players in the game want to fucking recklessly murder everyone they come across in the game as they move around, because they are of no fixed abode. They're murder hobos. So it does not suck that Red Dead is such a large game. It's good that it's such a large game. That's what makes it good. I think I should be making cyberpunk cocktails. What I like is in the early, I was either in the trailers or like early release versions of the game, they referenced the Johnny Silverhands cocktail. And guy who has the biggest cocktail channel on YouTube, Greg How to Drink, said, okay, they describe the drink, and then the drink that's in the graphic doesn't look like that. So he said, from the way they described the drink, could he make a good version of it? And he did. He made a version he liked and said, this is my Johnny Silverhand. Then the people at the people at there was a Project Red that developing Cyberpunk, they actually recoded the bit in the bar so the Johnny Silverhands drink looked like the version that Greg from How to Drink made. And we have a catchphrase for the evening. That sounds strange. Yes, and I know what you mean about having to remove things. I can literally, on this laptop, I can literally only, Red Dead is on this game, on this laptop. There is no room to install any other games on this laptop because of how much space Red Dead takes up. But although this is a gaming laptop, and it's not really why I got it. I got it for streams, and I did get it to be able to play game on stream. I could fire up Red Dead and show you what a murder hobo does. I'll just go around and kill people for no real reason. Yes, and I thought it was kind of cool that they redesigned the drink to look like the one that Greg made. Okay, was I going? Oh, I want to have a little taste because I did like a mini blend of some whiskeys. I was making a another barrel cocktail, and I used most of a couple of bottles of whiskey, and it was a little bit different. So I actually poured them both into a third bottle. Was Starward's Twofold, and so I'm going to taste that, see how different it is. Join the PC Master. I know you can get Xboxes. Yeah, yes. So expansion's always possible. Expensive. That's how they get you. The extra space is expensive. Do. All right, my knees are super fucked at the moment. Just thought I'd share that. Just in case I end up making a shrieky pain noise. Because I might end up making a shrieky pain noise because my knees fucking hurt at the moment. My Twofold whiskey with a very slight blend of some other whiskeys, but one of the ones I blended was pretty flavorful. Might make quite a difference. Feel like having a taste, and because there's a bit of rye, overproof rye whiskey. God, that's still stupid easy to drink. Jesus, what's that? So I'm looking at upgrading laptop storage, 1,600 for 4 terabytes. Holy fuck! Yeah, expansions are fucking expensive. I got a spare bottle of two. I hadn't had Twofold for ages. Then I got it kind of cheap at Dan's, so I bought a bottle. I thought it'd be a sort of standard workhorse thing. And then it was like Black Friday. They did this Dan's member deal where it was like $30 off. Oh, okay, I'll get a spare bottle of Twofold. It's not like whiskey goes off if you keep it in the bottle. Yeah, see, PC is the best thing. Also, speaking of things, I have to look at upping the processing power on my PC to see if that makes editing videos any better, because it's a bit frustrating at the moment. So you have two technical things: terabyte drives, one for OS, one for games. Neat. My PC has 3 drives. One's for backup, which I never use. I keep deleting. It's superfluous, but anyway. All right. It will help a lot. Okay, so that's a serious thing that want a tech support call for at some point. I mean, I could actually probably bring it over to your place. That would probably actually make more sense because then you have your tools there and you probably feel more comfortable with testing things and whatnot. That's a thing we can organize. But yes, that is actually a thing I want to do. Look at upgrading that. Ooh, the other thing I wanted to do. So here's this tasting stuff. I made a really decadent liqueur. This is my spiced apple whiskey liqueur. This stuff's... I'm glad I finally did something that wasn't strange. But this is not strange. This is freaking awesome. The thing I barrel aged has this spiced apple liqueur, whiskey, apple cider, and oh god, what's the flavory thing called? Allspice dram. And I'm out of allspice dram. I'm gonna have to go to God, the Bitters Lab is the only place I know that has it. Oh god, Zvan, are you allergic to apples? Oh, that would suck. Fuck me, that's good. That is so fucking good. Oh my god, that's good. Okay, so what this is, I got an apple or apples, sliced them up, covered them in brown sugar. For anyone playing along at home, you slice apple up, weigh it, cover it in twice its weight in brown sugar. After about a day, that will mostly liquefy. It's kind of weird because when the brown sugar's piled up, it's like a big pile of dirt, and you go, oh, that's wrong. That's not going to work. I put too much on. But a day later, the sugar leaches. And again, this is not so much strange, Dr. Abigail, but it is. I do find it interesting and fascinating. I forget what there's a term for it, but the sugar leaches the moisture out of the apples, leaches juice out of the apples, and liquefies. And then you leave that for a day, so it's mostly liquid. And then in a little saucepan, toast some spices, your traditional sort of cooking spices. I used nutmeg, cinnamon, cloves, cardamom, star anise. I put star anise in there as well. Do it the cooking spices that you like. You toast them a little bit in a pan, so all the yummy smells start coming out of it, and then you add the apples and syrup, all of it together, and a little bit of water to make sure the apples are cooked, and then you simmer it. You just get all those flavors going all through it, and you reduce it a little bit with simmering, and then strain it off so you just get the syrup. And so that's the first thing. This is this absolute fucking killer spiced apple syrup. It is so fucking good. But then this is pretty simple. This is just 2 parts whiskey, 1 part the spiced apple syrup to get a spiced apple liqueur. And it's so this is like the best thing I've made. It's so fucking good. Dr. Abigail, osmosis may be the right word. Process by which sugar absorbs moisture. No, canning. No, fuck you, Bing. Jesus. Does sugar absorb water? It sure does. Fuck off. I want to Google search because fuck you, Bing. Oh, what the fuck was that? Jesus Christ, fucking pop-ups. By which sugar absorbs moisture. No. All right, I'm going to look up. There might be an explanation if I look up oleosaccharin. Excessive sugar. Essential oils, extracted sugar, get aromatic mixture. A frequent misconception is oil extraction occurs due to sugar's hygroscopic nature, though this is unlikely as essential oils are hydrophobic. This is also why oil extraction via osmosis is a frequent misconception. Sugar cannot dissolve in the oil. There can be no sugar solute-based osmotic gradient. Okay, so there is a proper word. So, okay, that's just told us what's not the right words. God damn it. Bon Appetit gets the top. Or is it? Do they explain it? No, they don't. Liquor.com. Oil extracted from peel by using sugar. Let's see. Peel the citrus, sprinkle the sugar on top, and wait. Okay, well now I'm gonna, because I've seen the word. I know at some point I've seen the word that was the correct word. Now I don't know it. Yeah, Zvan. That's actually a good point. Spices aren't just heat and chill, it's flavor. Yes. All right, so. Oh my fucking God, that's good. That is so fucking yummy. Anyway, I've got lots of it. Plus, a cocktail that's barrel aging as well. God, that's so yummy. I also made a lot of the syrup so I can use it in cocktails. In fact, I might use it in the honey. Make an old fashioned with the honey barrel. Wait, I might just. Let's look up a recipes by spirit. Rum, scotch, rye, whiskey, cognac, other cocktails. A buttery nipple. Ooh, what's this? Okay, I don't want to keep that. I do want to keep that. I'm going to close all these other tabs because they're confusing me. Because I'm really easily confused. What's a white tie affair? White port? and vermouth and Benedictine and verjuice. Wow, that's a really involved one. What's in the noble one? White port. Goodness. These things are all having white port in them. So's that one. Jesus. Who knew white port was such a thing? What's in a love and murder? Campari and chartreuse. Liquid cocaine. Jägermeister and rum and cinnamon schnapps. Like Goldschlager. Well, that's stupid. I have something for the water of life. See. What's a Hawksmoor apple martini? Apple eau de vie, pear eau de vie, Lily Blanc version. So suggesting malic acid. Jesus Christ. Malic acid in apple eau de vie. Jesus. God, there's some crazy shit going on here. This is why I'm going to make a gin and tonic. Nice. High seas. What's in a high seas? Whiskey, aperitif, vermouth, eau de vie. What's in a last resort? Absinthe. Poir William. Nope, I don't want that. A gin blossom. Well, that's not showing. Eau de vie. What's this? Pine. What did it say? Pisco, mead, pineapple juice, liquor 43. Oh, you know what? I'm going to pretend this is mead. I'm going to make this. Am I? Maybe? Or am I going to have cherry cacao brandy and eggnog? Zvan, I actually have started a Discord. I don't do very much on it, but I might end up doing more on it. Sorry, I'll put the link. I'll do this occasionally. Put the link in. That's my Discord. Feel free to join. Because I feel like, I don't know, maybe Discord could be a thing in the future. Ah, Svan's hopped in already. Nice. I was playing with that bloody Midjourney today. Gotta steal someone's description. In the prompt chat. It's a whole thing. I was trying to get something I could use for thumbnails for cocktail videos. I didn't have a lot of luck, actually. Oh my God, that's good. Okay. You know what? I think I'm just going to make brandy and eggnog. Oh, get a shaker. Get a glass. Do-do-do-do. All right. Oh, where's my jigger? It's over here. Where my jigger's at? Do-do-do. Well, while I'm standing up, I'll get my freaking eggnog out of the fridge too. Noggy. Oh. Okay. Hey, Lee. All right. So, my cherry cacao brandy. Oh, yeah. Does anyone feel like joining the stream? Why not? Why not, indeed? There is the stream link. Brandy. And eggnog. Do. There we go. Yep. It's an abortive attempt by Zvan to join. It was uncool, but I actually like supermarket eggnog. Oh, if we could go to one of the upmarket grocers, they might have wanky eggnog. I feel like I should have chosen those words better. Right, so got my shaker. Now I'm going to turn off the microphone for 5 or 10 seconds because this is going to be loud if you're wearing headphones. Just realised I don't have my strainer. Oh, where's it at? Is it in the dishwasher? No. The folks happened to it. Oh, this one kind of shits me. All right. I'm gonna have to call the police. There's a madman around. All right. Oh, okay. Look what happened when my back was turned. We got Pat and Abigail.
Hey, Ed!
Hey.
Wow, you can't make this stuff up.
Apparently not. Because
That's
it's all
so strange.
So it can't be made up.
Yeah.
But have you ever seen a jellyfish? That shit's crazy.
No,
Isn't
I
my
don't
And
think
magnets,
that.
how do they work?
terrible at the
I
moment?
know. Sorry, I did a whole video once explaining why Rebecca Black's Friday was a more intelligent song than Insane Clown Posse's. Basically, because I was trying to wind up
That's so
Toddler.
weird.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, the people who dress up like clowns, they don't have much of a sense of humor.
No, that's you.
I don't think he heard that, Pat.
I know.
he said it was me. I was just on the other side of the room getting
Well,
some
If
nutmeg.
if I wore cocktail shirts like that, I'd expect an insult or two as well.
Dressing like a clown.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
I have a cat.
Oh, a regular sized cat.
Oh, that's cool.
Actually, she's really small for a cat.
Is she?
Yeah.
Big cat.
Well, she's a small cat. She's
Is
just
she a
Cool.
she's a small cat.
I was going to say, is she as small as Shadow? But you don't know because Shadow always.
I still don't believe Shadow exists. I have not seen any proof of Shadow's existence apart from this one photoshopped photo.
Yes. Which
Yeah,
actually,
no,
seriously,
that.
looks like
What the hell? Oh, I'm a cat tree.
being a cat. Look at that.
Oh, I'm a cat tree.
Oh man.
All right.
Apparently, Zwan is coming to us from. Is it St. Paul's Cathedral? That's opposite Flinders
he'd be
Street
standing-
No,
Station.
Flinders Street Station.
Yeah, but
I
you'd
Yeah,
be
guess
but
standing on the
you're not
steps.
at. You're not at Flinders Street. You're opposite the intersection from Flinders Street.
Yes, that's
So you'd be in St. Paul's Cathedral right now.
Yeah,
Just
you'd be on
saying.
the steps of St. Paul's Cathedral. Yeah.
I went in there once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't.
I
collapse on
started
you?
emitting like kind of this reddish smoke and
Yeah.
like there was an earthquake and yeah,
And
the windows
the
rattled.
only interesting churches I've ever been, because me and my family went to the south of France,
oh,
and
Ah.
yeah, they've got really interesting old churches that are just like really ancient. They're like thousands of years old, and yeah, they're interesting. None of the churches in Australia though.
yeah. Yeah. No.
The only
I-
interesting churches in Australia are the ones that have been converted into apartments or houses.
There's a few of those in my neighborhood, actually. People live in them. I do have to admit, when I was in England, I did love seeing old churches and castles and stuff that just absurd. Like, we stopped at one place specifically because it was one of the locations for the Harry Potter movies. There's an old cathedral, a bit where they're walking down a corridor was shot at this actual cathedral. But you had to pay to go in there, and we were like, yeah, I don't want to do that. But in the town surrounding it, there was interesting stuff. And there was a smaller Catholic church. And there were people in there who were from the local parish, I suppose. I think they were like a historical society. And it's a very old church, 1,000-year-old church or something. And bits of the stone had all these chips out of it. And they said, oh, yeah, that was Henry VIII's men when Henry VIII was saying, Catholics were illegal. They came here to try and like steal anything gold. And they apparently had the idea they could hack down a stone church with their swords. And they were attacking this column with swords. And they did make chips in it. But
Genius.
apparently they got very tired and saw that it was not making much difference to the church and left.
Was this a Monty Python skit?
It feels like it, doesn't it? But again, just that random
I
little
know.
bit of history. You're just in a little
We're
village.
talking about 1,000 years ago. People weren't
Yeah.
that smart.
I just love it. They
People
decided
were
they were
just
gonna-
as smart as we are 1,000 years ago. Like human intelligence hasn't increased that much. Human
just had
knowledge
more
has,
time.
but
We've had more time.
we've just
Well,
like
you,
people
you can conflate
were smart.
because
These guys were the equivalent of a Trump rally. It was like,
Okay, well
hey,
that makes more sense. They were on the other side of the bell
Yeah.
curve.
yeah, we don't like Catholics. We're going to chop this really heavy stone church down with swords. And
Yeah.
it didn't work. But it was just this fun bit of history when you see all this. It was like, oh, yeah, that was Henry VIII's men did that. And I was like, wow, okay, weird. But that was strange. Oh, there you go. It actually wasn't strange. It was fun. I love the old history stuff, but just even stuff like being in Portsmouth, where it's still a naval base, but it was a naval base in Nelson's day, and it's just realizing walking down this really old set of steps towards the docks, like so old, footsteps have been worn into these hard stone
I just need to turn off my camera for a sec. I'll just
Sure.
be a sec.
Sure. So, like, foot grooves have been worn in these hard stone steps because people have been walking down them for centuries, and realizing, Jesus, Nelson might have walked down these steps the day of the Battle of Trafalgar, and I think the thing is, when you're Australian and white settlement is so comparatively recent, and there's so little to it, with these really big, when you find yourself in a side of a huge historical event, it's a bit trippy. The English don't even notice it. It's not a big deal to the English because it's, or the Europeans, as you were saying, Svan, like the 1,000-year-old churches and whatnot. It's not a big deal to them because they just live with it. But I think for us and for Americans, it can be like really trippy. People just taking 1,000-year-old buildings for granted.
Oh, absolutely. And driving around in France, south of France, where like a lot of the roads were like 1,000 years old. God, that was nightmare fuel for me because I've like going from migrating from New Zealand to Australia. Like, the roads became shitty and dirt. But going from Australia to France, it's just like they're ancient roads that are all cobbled and they're really fucking narrow, and it's just like Jesus. and they've been around for like 1,000 years, and it's like no, we're not gonna pave over them. They're a historical piece of the landscape, and it's just like okay. This is why all the rental cars that you hire in France are all dented.
Because you're driving them on 1,000-year-old roads.
There's this thing in Paris, and I didn't believe it until I saw a couple of YouTube videos where the parallel parking in Paris is so tight that people are expected to hit your car. And people just fully will, like when they're parking, they will move your car with their car and vice versa.
All right, so it's the brake.
You're expected to have your handbrake off.
You're
them. Just push.
People will push other cars out of the way to park their cars, and people just expect it. And the bumpers are designed to be easily replaceable as a result.
It's like the Braille version of parking. Am I there yet?
Yes.
Yep, now I am.
And so, a lot of cars are just
what we call it.
dented in Paris and in France as a whole because of this. And it's crazy. You see tourists have made videos when they visit Paris of just all these people like parking like crazy people, shoving cars out of the way. Nuts.
Cultural differences.
Yeah. Wow. I would go insane if someone did that to my car, but
Well, Australians, especially in northern areas, we like to push kangaroos out of the way with our big fucking bars on the front of our four-wheel drive. So, we're used to pushing things out of the way. It's just not usually French cars while parking.
Yes.
Or,
Yeah, but like it's more a case of like we're used to pushing them out of the way as they're running across the road more than anything else.
Also, just completely unrelated. Look at this nice bag that the Archie Rose bottle came in. I'm
Whoa,
not going to
that's
throw
cool.
this out. I got to find some use for it. It's like a cloth bag. It's got
That's
all
beautiful.
this beautiful design screen printed on it. I'm going to have to use it for something. It's too nice to just, turf.
Well, yeah,
So-
today.
yeah.
You got it today.
Yeah, it came in the mail.
Yeah.
This was inside that bag. And
That's cool.
it's just a nice little touch that it was like, okay, now it's too nice to
Hey,
just
get it
throw
there, man.
away.
Oh, actually,
cool.
Angry, I've got this most awesome shirt that
Yeah.
I've been donated from my father. It's the most
Yeah.
90s Australian shirt that I can possibly find. Can I just
Yeah.
show it to you?
Yeah, no, definitely. Now I need to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I'll be back in a
Look.
sec.
Yeah. Sorry. I just realized I need to get my jigger back. I was gonna do something. I'm just going to make, because this barrel-aged honey spirit smells and tastes so much like whiskey. I'm just gonna make an old-fashioned with it.
Hey, hello. Hey,
Maddie
Matt.
saying hello to you.
Hey, Maddie.
Maddie's on
Good.
Twitch.
You good?
Ugh. All right. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mom. I'll work today.
nice. Sorry, Pat. I'm now distracted from literally everything in the universe by this shirt.
Oh.
Um,
Whoa.
Wow, that shirt.
Whoa.
that is incredible.
Hang on.
That is like
Whoa.
the entire 80s distilled into one shirt.
That's cool.
Hang on. Maybe I should just wear it.
Yeah.
On.
Yeah, you should. Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'll work today. Help the teams play basketball today.
You're working at basketball?
Now help the teams play basketball.
Okay.
Get it there, help. Yeah, see,
Okay.
yeah, that.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, see, you're popular on Twitch, Pat. Banathi's happy to see
Yep.
you too.
Hey! I know why. I'm the best. Best TikTok.
I think they just like seeing
But
someone
YouTube-
apart from me.
YouTube. Yeah, I'm better.
They just like seeing someone apart from me is the whole secret, I think.
Yeah, you're old. I'm better.
That's pretty strange.
It is actually,
Hello?
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
Look,
Whoa, that's cool.
that's pure style. That's amazing.
That's cool.
Actually, that's pretty cool.
That is
That's
amazing.
sick.
Wow. There
that's
is
like,
a lot going on that shirt.
I was about
Whoa.
to say, if I was chemically altered at this point, that would be too
Okay, okay,
much.
man, it's
Wouldn't it?
wicked. That's wicked.
That's incredible. I love it. Yeah, Safi, he's
Your
out shooting me.
shirt game.
My shirt
Yeah,
seems
I've even
conservative.
got a what do you call it? Zebra.
Yeah,
Ugh.
just the multiplicity of different things that they've worked into one shirt is incredible.
That's cool.
I've worn it out before. And boy, it's really funny when I walk past people. It's just like people just say, "Oh wow, that's a shirt."
It certainly is.
It's a
Like,
shirt.
You've worn it out, so you've got
Yeah.
it repaired. You've worn it that much, you've worn it out.
No, I've worn it out
See?
in public.
And now we're getting back to language. That means two different things. Strange
I
means
know that.
more than one thing. Worn out means more than one. Okay, I'm vindicated. I accept your apology, Abigail.
Remember,
Sorry, it's like woo. There's that meme of the guy celebrating winning everything, going yeah, and then you see he's in third place.
you're not weird.
That's
You're
me.
weird. You're not weird, Chris.
Oh, and Lee's joining us too. There we go.
and I'm there in second place, just like
Yeah.
because
And I'm
we're
sitting there biting the
none of us
middle
are
and
in first
chugging
place.
champagne.
I know, good.
None of us are in first place here because we're both right and we're both wrong. Like,
Holy shit!
I get
Sorry,
it.
I just wanted to
What's-
say so.
What?
Benathi and Maddie showed up on Twitch, and guys, I think you were enough to attract a spammer. I'm not even going to put. Oh well, I'll put it a spam message very quickly. It's basically saying,
Cool.
I will promote your channel. The price is lower than any competitor. And it's just like, I hate to break it to you. I don't give a fuck about promotion. This is just
This is well established.
it's just like the 90% of what 99% of what I do, I would not do if I cared about promotion, because I'm what you call advertiser unfriendly. Where's the way?
Sorry, Safa was asking have I worn this shirt out to dates before, and no, unfortunately, I haven't.
That would be a bit much for dates. Yeah, you don't want to
Well,
make a
I- I
statement
know-
like
no,
that.
no, no.
Personality is just as colourful. That's the thing.
But again, you don't want it to compete with your personality, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
exactly.
So like, it's you make that statement later, not on a first date. It's just like
No, I wear this type of shirt to like town halls
yep.
at work. where
Cool.
where you're expected to turn up to work, and I'm just like, I'm
That's
gonna wear the
cool.
loudest shirt possible.
It's a good shirt. I'm actually disappointed the degree to which, not that I've been going in the office 1 or 2 days a week, but the degree to which people have got used to my cocktail shirts. Because I was actually, should I wear it into the office? And one of my teammates is going, "Fuck yeah, do it." And I'm slightly disappointed the degree to which people have just accepted that I wear these shirts now. It's like, no, you're meant to sort of think I'm the office weirdo. What is it? It's like, you're meant to say that's strange. That's you can't make this
Is
stuff
it
up.
though?
Yeah, this
That's
guy
like
came into
cool.
the
That's-
office in a cocktail shirt. You can't make this stuff up.
I think
My favorite is.
I think you've stretched the joke far enough there.
We've got to
Angry.
stretch the joke upon a rack and then get a whip and whip a dead horse and then whip the joke with the whip that we whip the dead horse with. And you just
Mhm.
don't
Well, your
stop.
head. Yeah, well, your ass.
Okay, that's getting personal, Pat. Talking
Oh,
about the
I
sex
don't know.
life now.
Fun.
Thanks, Maddie. Hey, I got a cat too. Mimsy's come to say hello. Yes.
That's cool.
Oh, yes, and she's just casually digging her claws in my shoulder, and I'm pretending I'm not bleeding now. Yay. She is... Get up there. Stop expressing your displeasure
You
by
made
her.
me bleed my own blood.
Yes.
Meow.
It's a little better than bleeding someone. It says, she's there, see? She's now up here. Yeah.
Hello, kitty cat.
She's going to sit up there and behave herself. Yes, and you dodged being
My
kicked out.
cats only tend to come to me when they're like, come hither, slave.
Yeah, for some reason, Mimsy will come in sometimes for attention and sometimes not. I don't know, her medication seems to be working. The vet said she put on a bit of weight and her behavior is a little bit better. She's a
That's
little
cool.
bit less trendy. So it's like, yes. We need, and it's a pity she doesn't like catnip. We actually did the experiment. Neither of our cats sort of have the reaction to catnip that some cats do. They're bored by it. Because I think if she could get stoned, that would be the polite thing to do. She's sort of old and has arthritis and kidney disease and liver disease.
Ah.
And if we could get her stoned and just so she could sit around and be happy, that just seems like a polite thing to do.
I mean, you could always just like get some like I don't know, like other illicit cat substances.
There is actually, I
More
could probably go
refined.
on. Just put some stuff in my search history that'll get the Signals intelligence branch following me. Just like, how can I get my cat high? And my cat
Yep.
my cat doesn't respond to catnip. What other things can get my cat high as fuck? And because she deserves pain relief for her poor joints. The hypothyroidism medication seems to be working. It's actually a cream that gets rubbed in. This is hilarious to me. It gets rubbed into the inside of her ears, which absorbs it into her bloodstream. She was getting a pill shoved down her throat at one point, but that ended up like giving her
That sounds-
diarrhea.
Uncomfortable.
But she put up with it because she got fed straight after. Mrs. Angry did it. Mrs. Angry grabbing goes, a few times grabbing it, yeah, and holding her mouth open, jamming the pill in her mouth. And but then you'd get fed, wouldn't you, Mimsy? So that was okay. But then that gave her diarrhea, and we didn't like that. So now she gets this cream
There's
rubbed into
nothing
her
more
ears.
fun than actually cleaning a cat after diarrhea.
Mm.
I can tell you that. They love water.
Pretty awful.
They-
It's pretty awful. Pretty awful. And so, yes, now when she randomly shits about the place because she's got fucking Alzheimer's, cat Alzheimer's? Dementia. She's got cat dementia. And she just randomly shits around the place. At least it's solid. At least it's solid. So, but
Is she still sitting on the rubbish bin in the toilet?
I haven't caught her doing it for a little while. Abigail's been at my place and Mimsy do this weird thing, but
It's so strange.
she's a strange fucking cat, quite honestly. But she sleeps.
You can't make this stuff up.
You can't make this stuff up. She sleeps next to me at night, either next to me on the bed or because I've got my CPAP machine on. Most of the time I have to be on my back. Sometimes I go onto my side because it's easier to fall asleep. But it's harder to keep the CPAP thing in the proper position on my nose. So a lot of the night I'm on my back. She likes it. If I'm on my back, I have to like spread my legs and she sleeps between my legs. She somehow finds it comforting to have a leg either side of her. Speaking of, for anyone who doesn't know, CPAP is this silly breathing machine you've got when you're going to stop breathing when you're asleep. It's turbo snoring, basically. Snoring is kind of like if your sinuses are partially blocked when you're sleeping and you do the snore. Sleep apnea is the extreme form of that, where you actually stop breathing, sometime for a very long time. When I had the test, I think they said the longest I stopped breathing was 1.5 minutes. In my sleep, I didn't breathe for 1.5 minutes. And
That's less than ideal.
it's less than ideal. There are
Less than the ideal amount of time that you should stop breathing for.
there is a belief in medical circles that sleep apnea exacerbates an entire spectrum of health disorders. Gives you heart problems, brain problems. So hence I strap this stupid fucking thing to my head, which forces air up my nose, which means instead of stopping breathing 40 times an hour, which is what my sleep study said I did,
I've done that.
I only stop breathing 1 to 4 times an hour. Pat, you've done the sleep study too. Do you sleep with a
Yep.
machine?
No. You get
Yeah, no, you have about
Yeah,
20
that.
sensors stuck all over you.
yeah,
when you do
that.
Yeah. It's the running joke is they apply 20 of these sensors all over your face and chest and arms and then say, now sleep naturally. Sleep naturally with all these things attached to you. I actually live stream.
Don't work. This is my sons. You know, it's work. That.
Yeah.
There, that. It's easy.
I actually live streamed from the hospital where I did my sleep study.
I
'Cause
remember that.
I'm actually okay. It probably won't show up. I'm actually bleeding now because Mimsy just jumped from here across me and just dug her claws into the back of my hand.
I say you got a cut.
No, it's like there's 2 punctures. It's like a vampire bite on the back of my hand. I'm not bleeding. I'm
man.
not bleeding a lot. See, I'm showing. There's no there.
No,
But
no,
she
no,
actually-
It's cool. Yeah.
There's 2 little puncture marks on the back of my hand, like a vampire bit me. But it's just Mimsy being a shithead. What? Lee
So,
disappeared and Lee
funny-
comes back.
Funny story.
Yes.
Will's cat, Will's giant cat.
Big
Yeah.
cat. Whoa.
The way that Will plays with his cat is with his hand, and it's a bit rough, and so Will's cat really gets into him.
Yeah.
So when Will's first tattoo is going to be cat bite marks there and scratches here.
Ooh,
Yes.
man.
So
No, I like
Yeah.
that. Good.
I'll play the dogs once. But I play my sister's dogs.
Did you get bitten by your sister's dogs?
No.
No, they're well behaved.
Yeah, get on them, Pat. Get them. Get out
Oh,
of
yeah.
that.
Well, I'm not saying. Okay, Pat, I didn't call your sister up and say rub bacon fat all over Pat and then slap him on the bum and make him run away and set the dogs after him. If that ever happens, if your sister
Yeah,
ever
they
does
did.
that, I didn't tell her to do it. I didn't tell her to do it. Is all I'm saying.
Well,
Look at that. I'll do this. You.
No, it's not me. I'm just saying if that happens, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Oh, no.
I know that sounds really sort of
weird.
Oddly
overly
specific.
descriptive of something I didn't do. But
Oh.
I definitely didn't do that. I know it sounds awfully sort of precise. for a thing.
Specific.
Specific. That's the word I wanted. It sounds a bit specific for something I didn't do, but I swear I didn't do it. So if that shows up on the news, Big Pat, like if he's on 7:30, no, what's today? What's the ridiculous shit that's on the commercial channels that I don't watch? You know, where they normally
What, all of them?
where they're
Bad
normally talking
news.
about dodgy tradies or something.
Oh, a current affair.
Yeah. So if Pat's ever on a
Yeah.
current affair saying, I don't know what happened, you know, someone stuck a bag over my head and hit me over the head, and then I just woke up and I was speared with bacon and dogs were chasing me. It wasn't me. I'm just saying, if that happens to Pat, if Pat's on a current affair telling this story, I wasn't involved.
Oh, yes.
I'm getting out in front of this. If that happens, it wasn't me. So, and just because if it happens, you'll go, it's weird that exact obscure thing Angry said happened, but I said it wasn't me. It's kind of like that old. There's a classic internet meme of someone saying, "My T-shirt that says." I'm not involved in child sex trafficking attracts a bunch of questions that are answered by the T-shirt.
You little women.
And I'll just confuse everyone with this shirt.
Yeah. Oh no, you're vanishing. That generally is going
from the
to.
street
Shirt.
stage.
Yes, I'm becoming
shirt-
anonymous.
Is confusing the AI responsible for your background.
Yeah. It's such a good. It is such a good shirt. It's amazing.
Yeah, there we go.
Ah, yes. Look at it. That's
Sophisticated.
That's that camouflage called dazzle. It means like it's not that we can't see
Oh,
you.
yeah.
It's just because you're such a
Yes.
broken, uneven surface. we can't gauge the distance between us and you. So if we're shooting at you, it's very hard to get the range right.
Oh,
Yes,
that reminds me of this story. These cops went into a crime scene once, and what it was this house, and the guy who lived in the house, he lived there alone, thank goodness. And
Yeah.
every surface, the floor, the ceiling, the walls, every surface, he had covered with cutouts from porn magazines.
Sure.
Every
that's
single
so
surface,
weird.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
weird.
cops were so disoriented that they kept bumping into walls and doorways and shit.
Yeah.
And the reason they were there is because what had happened? The guy, they found him naked, except for this elaborate bubble he'd built for himself out of coat hangers, where the inside was covered with porn, and he
Oh,
was
God.
cleaning and hid an electrical a light fitting and electrocuted himself.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh
my
god.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
fuck.
dodgy.
I know.
Now, if you're ever worried about having a porn addiction,
Yeah.
there's your bar.
Are you as
There's
bad as this
Oh,
guy?
man.
Yeah.
Are you up there?
Sorry.
Not even.
Slightly reminds me of a story of my many jobs I've worked in the last 20 years. One of them was with Yarra Valley Water. Although the guys who I was talking to, it was when it was Melbourne Water. It was all the whole thing. But on the fringes of Melbourne, the stuff that doesn't even really count as outer suburbs, it's the limbo between outer suburbs and country areas, where a lot of the time they're not connected to the sewerage system or something like that. And occasionally someone from the water authority will go out and visit a property owner and say, you should probably be connected to the sewage system, not use a septic tank, because there's a whole bunch of reasons septic tanks are less than optimal. And this guy knew he's talking about years ago, they'd gone out to this guy's place trying to get him on. Just, rundown, ramshackle house on a property on the perimeter of Melbourne. And they go in there, and he was like your classic hoarder. There were piles of newspapers and magazines everywhere, like 1 to 2 meters high. So it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of newspapers and magazines. Every room in the house was piled with weird shit. And they found that because they knocked on the door and said, "Can we come in and talk?" And a pretty weird looking sort of ZZ Top hillbilly guy said, "Yeah, come in." And they're threading their way through, and they're going, "This is all a bit weird." And there were two of them, and they're talking, and they're basically trying to extol the virtues of joining the 19th century to this guy. And
Sick burn.
Or how not to burn your house
and,
down.
They're weird.
and he's been a bit weird, and they're just looking, and they're just going like, "There's food bits," and then they're just going like, "Yeah, this guy's weird. I don't know how long we were there." And this guy said, and then he saw the shotgun leaning up against one of the piles of magazines,
Oh, no.
and at which point he goes, as betraying as little reaction as possible, just like nudges his mate and went, "I think we should leave." It's just like- and this guy hadn't done anything hostile, but he was clearly weird as fuck. And he had a shotgun just leaning up against one of his piles of magazines. And this guy's going, "I don't want to be here anymore. Let's leave." Oh.
That's getting weird.
Yeah, Pat, I think that is officially strange.
Yeah, weird.
You can't make this stuff up. It's just like...
Yeah.
But again, it's funny because I've been in either public service or public service adjacent jobs multiple times. I've worked for state and local government, and we get people who are in, and I've worked for defense once as well. But when you're with people, their entire life is working for local government or state government or defense. Like, they leave school and they start this job and they then work there for 45, 50 years and retire without ever working. It's a very interesting mix of that person has committed themselves to public service and that person's a bit fucking weird for never going out into the world.
So
Yeah.
when it comes to defense, their culture gets really weird because I recently had a friend who works in security architecture, IT security architecture, and he asked me to read his CV. And his CV was literally 2 pages, and it was like, you need clearance to know what I was doing during these years. And I'm just like, that's not going to fucking fly outside of the ADF. I'm sorry.
Well, if you want weird, there is a $110 million super yacht parked in Port Adelaide. Now it's just that downright weird. It's like, now why would someone with such an expensive yacht park in Port Adelaide?
That's strange.
No, that's low
they're
rent.
both strange.
Jeff Bezos is doing a literal $1 billion super yacht. So go to the $110 million super yacht and say he's fucking useless. You're an embarrassment. Go home.
Well, he's a decent guy, actually. The guy who owns it.
I'm sure he's.
Actually, nobody knows who it is.
Oh, actually, look, I have some friends who had a very modest boat in South Australia. They've done quite well. They had like a security company. These people I met through YouTube, super nice people, and it was fun. We went out on their boat. They had this really nice boat. Like downstairs, there was a bedroom and a little kitchenette and a bath. You could have a fucking shower on this boat, and there's a bed. You could like sit. I thought it was the coolest fucking thing, and we did like a scoot around Adelaide. We saw dolphins. And then we pulled into this particular marina. And here's the thing. These boats, they often have a little side boat. Like in this one, it was a dinghy. It's like if something goes wrong with your boat and is on fire and it's going to sink, you get in the dinghy. And we pulled into this marina. And it didn't count as a super yacht, but it was a big fucking boat. And their dinghy was as big as the boat we were on. It was like on the back of their big. They had like a 3-tier big fucking boat, and their dinghy was as big as the boat we were on. And I was like, oh, I kind of thought I had rich friends here, and they're being left behind by the other people in the marina. I'm disappointed now. But
Guess what I've got coming up in.
what have you got coming up? Food.
Food.
Oh, that's
Nice.
What's up?
Weirdly a bit early tonight because just before I started the stream, young Ms. Angry was in the kitchen cooking some stuff for her dinner, and I found myself going, "Wait, what did I have for dinner? I'm sure I ate something, and I can't remember." And again, left her. Young Mr. Angry made a pasta bake, which was actually super yummy, and I had leftovers of that. Yep, there's man with a pigeon coming through the kitchen.
Pigeon Man.
I think Abigail's had an encounter. I'm not 100% sure. Was there ever a pigeon in the house when you? Was there ever a pigeon in the house when you were here? I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I've seen it on stream.
Yeah, seen it on. That's right. It actually came in on stream one time. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it goes soon.
Now there's this. Okay, so there's this middle-aged, technically not homeless, but presents as homeless,
Mhm.
man
Yeah.
who the kids call Pigeon Man, who hangs
Sure.
out in front of the state library,
Yeah.
and he hangs out with high school kids
Right.
and gives them stuff. I know.
Sounding great.
I know. No, and my
Is it-
son
Is
has
it legit?
my
canon?
son has come home with entire Lego sets bought by Pigeon Man.
Oof.
Yeah, it's so dodgy.
That's
So
weird.
dodgy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not sounding great.
No,
weird.
no, it's sounding downright awful.
Yeah.
So
Look, some people are
yeah.
just nice, but some other people aren't. And
Yeah. It sounds dodgy as fuck, is what I'm saying. And so they call him Pigeon Man.
yeah,
I don't remember why they call him Pigeon Man. Oh,
Yeah.
hang on.
maybe he
Hang on.
feeds pigeons.
Yeah.
So are you saying you had to go, Lee, or?
Soon.
Oh, by the way, hi, Justin. Sorry, I don't think I said hello to you when you said hello in the chat. So hello, Justin.
Hello,
Hello.
Justin.
Hello.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, Jack's back.
It's kind of like, because knowing my kids going through primary and whatnot, that's being a primary school teacher or a childcare worker is regarded as like women's stuff. And in a lot of cases, I thought it would be good. I could almost see like, like if I won lotto or something and didn't have to worry about money. One thing I might do is, volunteer with childcare or particularly primary school aged kids, because I think boys getting a decent male role model would be a very positive thing. But
Yep.
because of weirdos, you get honestly way too many people who think any man who works in early childhood or even primary age education is creepy and not to be trusted. And it's just like, if there are no men in early childhood care or in primary education or whatever, it means there are no good male role models in those environments. And that's not good for boys or girls. Straight,
No.
it's whatevs. It's not good if there are no male role models in that area. But you get people who think it's, weird and suspicious if a man's in those sort of roles that have been relegated.
I have to go
That's fair.
pick up.
I have to
I
go
have to
soon
go,
anyway.
like, actually pick up my pizza.
All
like a
right.
schlep. Like, what's the point of having a teenage son if I have?
I
to
know
go
if you can't
actually
just force
get
them to
my
do
own
I
shit.
gotta
for
eat,
you.
Tay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Anyway,
All right. Maybe see you tomorrow.
Bye, Doc. See you tomorrow.
bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Before I go,
Yeah.
people have been like, I got asked a really random question recently, like, "Are you a multi-billionaire?" And I'm like, I don't answer questions like that, and they assume I am because I said that.
That's an excellent answer to the question.
Like, I don't answer
Yeah,
those kind of
Absolutely.
questions. Don't answer them. But anyway, au revoir. I better go.
Cheers.
Bye bye.
I also. Oh, well, that's weird. Why did it do
That's
that?
a weird. Oh,
That-
that's better.
Sorry, that was StreamYard that just cut us all off in weird angles there for a second.
That's a weird.
It was very weird.
Yeah, so the other day on Tuesday, I actually had to
Yeah.
stop a man from actually. So I was walking back to work after lunch, and
Yeah.
some kid in this black fluffy hoodie,
Hmm.
who's about 12 years old, decided to chuck a small piece of banana about that size at this office worker. He was
Sure.
dressed up. Anyway, he got hit with it, and he pretty much exploded. And I had to spend a good 5 minutes sort of tempering him down and saying it's not worth hitting or punching.
Yeah, you
12-year-old
can't hit a kid. Even if a kid
Yeah,
did something
kids.
stupid and obnoxious.
Yeah, I was just saying it's not worth it. Like, I understand you've just been assaulted with a piece of banana. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would piss me off too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
me
a
too.
kid.
And
Doesn't
you
matter.
feel like you should punch the little bastard in the head,
Yeah.
but
And the,
you
and
Yeah,
the little bastard turned around and said, "What do you want?"
yeah, which
Oh,
again
that's
to
so
hold him
weird.
back, and I'm just like,
you
"Stop."
want to punch him twice as much at that point. But it's
But
not
no-
good. No, you did the right thing because
That's
it's like
fine.
no, you'll end up in court.
And two other people walked past, and they were like, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth it as well. It's just like,
No,
look, calm down. I've had a worse day than you had. You
Yeah.
got pelted with a banana. I've been dealing with workplace bullying.
yeah,
Deal
No,
with it.
no. It's just because, like, dude, if you punch a kid, you're going to end up in court, and you'll have something on your permanent record that absolutely doesn't look good. Because, like, you go for job interviews and you go, "Do you have a criminal record?" Well, there was that time I punched a kid. Why'd you do that?
He
He
threw
deserved
a small
it.
piece of banana at me, and
Yeah.
I punched him.
Yeah. No. Again, you feel really righteous in the moment, but honestly, dude, he was lucky you were there to just go, "No, not worth it. Don't do it." Because I'm sure in his head, he convinced himself the right thing to do was to punch this kid in the head. And it's not. That's not the right thing to do. It's a bad thing to do. And even
Yeah,
you could gloss
and
over.
I was also incredibly sympathetic because he's probably dealing with the same bullshit that I'm dealing with.
Yeah,
at work, and
yeah.
It's just like, no.
Yeah, you know,
Don't take it out on other people.
Yeah,
Take it
again,
out on the people. that fucking forcing
the
you to
the
go.
multi-level thing, like, it's just kind of not right to punch a kid, whatever. But you know, it's bad. But it's bad for you. Just okay, it's bad to punch a kid. Don't go punching kids. But it's bad for you. So if you have this overwhelming urge to punch a kid, okay, you have no respect for the kid. You don't want to. But think about yourself, because you will basically fuck up your own life
Oh
if
yeah,
you punch
totally.
a kid.
Yeah.
So
And that's what I was telling him. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, do you want a criminal record? It's not worth
Yeah.
it. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep walking. And
Yeah.
he took too many times for me to convince him until he actually
Oh,
started
yeah.
walking off. It was ridiculous.
I remember being in a club once. This was a long time ago when I used to go to clubs. And I was with some friends, and there was this weird altercation, and it was basically a yuppie fuckwit sort of ran into a suburban sort of wog boy who's there with his wog boy friends and who's doing the whole macho posturing thing. And it was going to be this, it was just right in front, and it was going to be this massive punch on. And like I was there, and like sort of stray fists were probably good. I was with my friends, and stray fists were probably going to end up in our direction. It was going to get out of control. And I just looked at the two things and I went, the yuppie fuckwit is a sociopathic moron. And this lad from the suburbs is a bit macho and he's feeling a bit postured, but he's the decent one. And so I grabbed him and his mates. I went, bro, not worth it. Not worth it. He's a fucking worthless yuppie piece of shit. Fuck him. And I don't think the guy understood. I was basically protecting myself. It is kind of like, okay, yuppie fuckwit with his friends here, suburban boys here. If they start, I'm here with my friends. If they start punching on, we're going to get caught as collateral, and we're not just going to stand there. We're going to start throwing as well. And so I just really quickly looked and went, that guy's a worthless piece of shit. This guy, he's kind of rightly affronted, but I feel like I can reach him. So I'm just grabbing these suburban boys and just going, bro, not worth it. Not worth it, bro. No, he's a fucking wanker. And I did not give a shit what this guy heard me say. And it was just like, he's a fucking wanker. He's not worth it. Fuck him. And I think we might have even bought him a drink. I was with my friends and we're just like, fuck that guy. Ignore him. Let's go up here. I'll get you a drink. Fuck him. We hate him. He sucks. Fuck him. And I was just, and I don't know if this guy understood. I'm just next to you. And if punches start flailing around, we're going to get caught in it. And if someone punches me or my friends in the head, we're not just going to stand there and take it. So I was like, my friends, all sort of the indie inner city guys. So it was like there were 3 different tribes. There was gross yuppie fuckwits, suburban boys, and the inner city indie ones. And my friends were way more likely to punch on than me. And that was the other reason I tried to diffuse it, because my friends would go, "Oh, we're punching, are we? Let's go." And I was like, "I don't want to punch.
no.
I don't want to get punched." I just...
Wait, sorry, Angry. What sort of friends do you hang out with that want to throw a punch?
This is in Sydney, literally about 30 years ago. My friends there,
Midtown?
again, they were my friends. I loved them dearly, but there were several of them who required very little provocation to punch on. And because we were in the middle, if we actually literally, because it was such a crowded place, if these 2 groups started punching on, we were right there. We couldn't avoid it. So we would have been punching someone. And I was kind of like, I don't want to punch anyone. And it's just like, so I had to defuse it. So I thought, the yuppie fuckwits, I hate them. And I also don't think they'll listen because they're so self-centered. But these guys, they're just like suburban boys. And I just get, and so I just grabbed it. I was literally putting my arm around them. Come on, man, fuck them, fuck those guys. We don't like them. They're not worth it. They're not worth shit. The bouncers will come over. We'll all get thrown out. We don't want that. Fuck them. Let's just ignore. And I think I might have even bought them a drink, but it's just like, people, right?
Yeah, there are some people that once you get them on alcohol, they just become immediately aggressive, and they just try and pick fights all the fucking time.
Yeah. No, and I've never been in a really nasty fight. I've avoided nasty alcohol fights by about that much multiple times in my life, because for whatever reason I wasn't as fucked up as the other person, and I just went, "Oh, that's a bad idea. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do that." Alcohol is bad, he said after his 3rd cocktail of the night. But I'm sitting at home being quiet, and this is the whole thing. Like, it's funny. I was having this conversation with Mrs. Angry the other day about because I think 2 or 3 people from the legalized marijuana party have gotten elected to the Senate in the Victoria state election, which is a hoot.
Hang on, have we got Senate results from that?
It's not finalized, I don't think, but I thought it was looking like 2 or even 3 people from the legalized marijuana group were getting into the Senate, which is an absolute hit. Oh, Heining, yes, remember young Kip? Oh, that's very in joke. That's you knew him from meetups from like 10 years ago. Aidsy worked on that lad. Again, he's from Kyneton, which again, that's that limbo between outer suburbs of Melbourne and actual country areas. And that's a weird thing to grow up in. I just grew up in country, like Dubbo in Western New South Wales. Oh, weird bit of fucking trivia. I was in an online training thing today. Like I spent 4.5, 5 hours in this thing online today. And because I have a somewhat unusual last name, someone went, "Hey, I know someone. Were you from Dubbo? Do you know Ben?" And I went, "Yeah, that's my brother." And she's like, "Oh, I worked with your brother years ago." And yes. Oh, Greg. Okay. Fun fact. I haven't counted for a little while, and it may have changed, but I think I got into double figures because I've been on YouTube like 16, I've lost track, 16, 17 years on YouTube. I think I've gotten into double figures for people who have appeared on a video of mine who are dead now. So that's creepy, right? That's pretty fucking creepy.
Yeah, isn't it?
That's how weird.
That most of them are from illness. Some are from because of more violent things. And I don't want to say too much. Not that they've been. Pat's a contract killer.
Hey! What's
I'm
wrong
just
with you
saying,
that?
if
bad.
if you see now he's threatening me because I've let his secret out. If Pat says someone's gonna die, they're
Oh,
gonna.
man.
He said that the other thing. He posted a picture of someone and said they're gonna die on Monday. And when I said, "Are you killing them?" He goes,
Son.
"Oh no, I meant they're gonna die last." No, you. If basically, if Pat says you're gonna die, you're gonna die.
I think
But,
who
yeah.
did that?
Fun trivia: you be on the internet long enough, and people
On
you associate
YouTube.
with die. So I'm not saying, and I'm not saying AZ absorbed their corporeal power, because AZ should have been dead 20 years ago, and yet all these people we've interacted with die instead. I'm not saying AZ absorbed their life essence Highlander style, which is what keeps him going. I'm just saying that maybe AZ absorbs the life force of other people. I'm just okay. It's out there. It's out there now. It's out there. He's not the Highlander. He's not a vampire, but somehow he keeps going, and other people don't. That's an unavoidable fact. I've put it out there, and it's up to someone else to analyze. Is AZ killing people, or is it Pat? Is it Pat who's killing people?
No.
It's
No,
most likely
no,
Pat.
no,
No.
Not me.
Okay. Oh, look. I'm just going to go on record. If anyone from the police or ASIO or SIGINT is, I'm going to go on record. To the best of my knowledge, Pat is not a contract killer. So if anyone in Pat's circle has died under mysterious circumstances, as far as I know, Pat didn't do it. I mean, there's circumstantial evidence, sure. Pat put black markers on the back of the wrist of some of these people who died later. Pat gave some people the kiss of death and they later died. That's not that's not proof he killed them. It's not. It isn't. It isn't proof. Anyone who says that's proof, Pat's a contract killer. No. Okay.
I lost my
Yeah.
brother. And I lost my mom.
Okay, way to make me feel
Yeah.
bad, Pat. I'm just kind of making fun of you, and now you're
Yeah,
making me the bad guy just because I
Yeah.
mentioned you might be.
Go back.
I'm the bad guy. Well, no one ever
Nah,
called me
you're
a
good.
contract killer. I'm just saying, no one ever accused me of being a contract. I don't accuse Pat of being a contract killer. I just want that on record now. I never said Pat's a contract killer. But I didn't say that. I said he's not. Pat is. He is not a contract killer.
Hey!
So,
Oh,
So-
sorry that.
so now, no, we've cleared it up. We've cleared it up, and I'm going to go to bed safe in the knowledge that I haven't murdered anything. Look, Pat may have. I'm not saying one way or the other, but I know I haven't, so I can sleep easy tonight. Pat's going to sleep easy tonight. That means one of two things: he never killed anyone, or he's an ice cold contract killer. I don't know which it is. But I'm going to leave it there. Yes. I'm redacting that, Heine. I never said that. It's redacted. So you take care. I'll probably be doing a stream tomorrow night. Being relatively constrained tonight, although it was a lot of fun tonight. Might cut loose tomorrow night. Who knows what'll happen?
I got a question.
Yeah, but
How's
back-
my
Yes,
lighting-
sorry. Svan's got a question.
How's my lighting and my audio, by the way?
Both
Good.
good. Both good.
You're the best.
Yeah, no, looking good.
Ignoring
It's
the
good.
Oh my god, that shirt's just freaking amazing. The shirt is
That's
incredible.
cool.
All right, gonna go to bed. So bid you fine people farewell. Hope you all take care. See you another